Hey guys, welcome to Chef Grace's Place. Today on Chef Grace's Place, we're gonna make some white chocolate peanut butter mousse. So right now it's January 12th. We'll find out if I won the lottery today. But about a month from now is Valentine's Day. You know, during these times, we're probably not going to go out that much for Valentine's Day, but also if you're trying to make some like extravagant Valentine's Day dinner, usually you're going to forget about dessert. The thing I love about chocolate mousse and just mousse in general is that it freezes very well. So you can make mousse ahead of time. You could make it now and put it in the freezer and it would still be good a month from now for Valentine's Day. You just want to make sure that you don't have it next to anything that's super smelly like onions or garlic, because mousse will absorb the smells of anything like that. I made this white chocolate peanut butter because I really wanted to showcase the combination of peanut butter and Oreos. It's one of my favorite combinations. If you're allergic to peanut butter, you can use almond butter, pistachio butter, hazelnut butter. You could just go have no nuts in it at all. That's perfectly fine, it'll still work. I did the white chocolate and peanut butter. In hindsight, it will probably come out a lot smoother if you use a store-bought peanut butter, even though I made my own peanut butter. And this is because store-bought peanut butter like Skippy or Jif or whatever, it's mostly like shortening and emulsifiers and like a little bit of peanuts. So it does have a very smooth texture. More smooth than you would get with making your own peanut butter, but I wanted to try it out. I don't really think it was worth it for this. I think next time I would just go with the store-bought and be fine. Alright guys, I'm about to get started on putting together the mousse. It's really important that you are set up for success. Mousse is probably one of the only things that I'm like very particular about my mise en place, because we need to fold this together as fast as we possibly can. So we need to make sure we have all the steps ready. Our first mise en place component that most people forget is to do the whipped cream. The whipped cream needs to be cold, so at the end when we fold it into our mousse, it's going to set the chocolate. So it's important that you do it first and get it out of the way so you don't forget. And it's just hanging out in the fridge waiting for you. Make sure when you whip it up that the peaks are nice and firm. After your whipped cream is done, get your double boilers together. You're going to need one for your egg yolks and you're going to need one for your white chocolate peanut butter mixture. Next, you got to measure out your white chocolate and your peanut butter. Some good looking peanut butter. You want to melt these together on the double boiler. You'll notice that I'm using a glass bowl, and that's going to help retain the heat and keep it warm and nice and melted for later when it's time to fold everything together. It actually took a while to melt down, so you can just kind of like leave it and come back and stir it every so often. You really want to make sure you have no chunks in there. Next, you're gonna separate your eggs. This is how I like to separate my eggs. You can do it in the shell if you want, but to me this is faster, and also it just makes it so you don't have to worry about ripping the yolk with the shell. And I also find it easier to catch whether or not I broke the yolk before I put it in the whites and mess everything up. It's really important that you have no fat in your whites and that your bowl is super clean, because we need this meringue to be nice and sturdy. And if you have fat in your meringue, it's not going to whip up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure out our sugar. We're going to put 1 cup aside for our meringue, and we're going to just leave that meased out and ready. And then we're going to measure out 2 tablespoons for our yolks, which we're going to heat over the double boiler to dissolve the sugar. But Whenever you add sugar to yolks, as soon as you put it in there, you want to make sure you just mix it around so you don't get what's called sugar burn, which would be the moisture being drawn out of the yolks by the sugar unevenly. It kind of gets gritty if you just let it sit like that. Right before we go to the double boiler, make sure you have your egg whites and your sugar ready to go. So this way you can whip up your meringue right after you're done whipping up your egg yolks. If you do not have two mixer bowls, which most people don't, a handheld mixer works really well, and I actually recommend mixing up your meringue before your yolks, so this way you don't have to worry about getting any fat in your meringue. So you're supposed to heat this to 115 degrees, but I just heat it until it's really hot for me to put my finger in there and the sugar is all the way dissolved. Once you get it to that state, you can put it on the mixer and we're gonna whip it until it hits ribbon stage. So ribbon stage is when the fluffy egg yolks will hold a ribbon shape on top of itself when you drizzle it back into the bowl. It should last about 3 seconds or more. So once your yolks are good, you're gonna put in the whites and we're gonna make a meringue French style. So we're gonna whip up our whites until they get a little bit foamy, and then we're gonna add our sugar down the side. So you're gonna whip this until you get stiff peaks, so you should be able to put your finger in, and when you take your finger out, the point of the peak of the meringue should stand straight up. If it flops over, give it another second or two, but don't take your eye off it because it's almost there. So once you take your finger out and you get that stiff peak, then you're done. Ta-da! Alright guys, so you've done all the difficult mising. The last part of the mise en place is making sure you have your crushed Oreos ready to go. You can just throw them in a plastic bag and crush them up. Put a little bit in the bottom of the glasses you're going to use. Make sure you have glasses ready. I have 2 glasses here, but the whole recipe made about 4 glasses. Now we're going to set our glasses aside and we're going to get our mousse components ready to go. We have our peanut butter chocolate mix, our ribboned egg yolks, and our French meringue. Don't forget our cold whipped cream. It's really important that it's cold. So we're going to be mixing everything into the egg yolk bowl. We're going to do this as fast as we can. We're going to start with the chocolate nut mixture and we're just going to start folding. It's really important that we fold and we don't stir. We're going to fold as fast as we can. Now it's really important we do this fast because the chocolate's nice and warm and it's going to want to start to set up when it gets cooler. So I'm really folding as fast as I can. It's actually getting a lot more difficult than I thought it would be with the chocolate mixture. It got super tight. So I'm adding in the meringue next. And I added in about half. And I'm gonna fold as fast as I can. I'm lifting top to bottom and folding it over. This is going to keep a lot of the air in it rather than just stirring it. I'm cutting down the middle a couple of times just to make sure I don't miss any lumps. And this first part of the meringue really helps get everything emulsified. When you get about 70 to 80% mixed together, add the rest of the meringue. You could do this in 3 parts, but I just did it in 2 because it's just kind of a smaller batch, so that's fine. You can see it's getting lighter and fluffier. It's looking more moussey. Now you can see I'm picking it up from the bottom, folding it over on itself. It's really important that we don't stir this because then we're going to stir the air out of it. And pretty much the main ingredient in mousse is air, so Gotta keep as much in there as we possibly can. Finally, we're gonna add our cold whipped cream to the mixture, and that's gonna help set our chocolate very quickly because it's cold. So it's really important that you fold quickly because we don't want to have chocolate chip mousse, we just want to have chocolate mousse, right? Now I'm gonna fill my piping bag, and then I'm gonna pipe my mousse into my cup. Thanks, Maria, for that cup. It's at Chef Grace's place. Super cute. You're gonna see me get annoyed with that tip because it got clogged with peanuts from the homemade peanut butter, and I had to get rid of it like halfway through. So you could just use a piping bag without a tip on it, or you can scoop it in there, but I find it's gonna be neater if you use the piping bag, obviously, because you won't be getting anything on the sides of the glass or anything like that. Once you get the glass about a quarter to a third full, throw some Oreos in there. We want to make sure when we're eating this that we have a good ratio of crunch to mousse. So in every bite I want mousse, but I also want Oreo. So think about that when you're filling your parfaits, and think you're eating this with a spoon and you're going down. So that's why we want to create layers. So this way when you scoop up, you'll have a little bit of each layer. So after you're done putting your mousse in glasses like this, you want to let it set in the fridge for about an hour or so, or you can throw it in the freezer and just take it out whenever you're ready. I garnished mine with Oreos, but if you're just doing a straight up chocolate mousse, or maybe you are doing Oreos but you didn't do them on top like that, you could garnish with some whipped cream and put Oreos or whatever on top, or chocolate shavings. Or fresh cut strawberries for Valentine's Day because they look like little hearts. Alright, so now it's time to try this mousse. Ooh. It could use a little more time to set up, I think. But I was excited. Mm. Mm. Oh my god, so good. It's like super light peanut buttery. Like you get just enough peanut flavor. Oh my god, so good. But if you've never had the combination of Oreos and peanut butter before, please just go get some store-bought peanut butter and some Oreos and dip it. It's so good. It'll change your life. But this is definitely like the more sophisticated version of peanut butter and Oreos. Damn. Oh my god. That's some good stuff. So thanks for stopping by Chef Grace's place. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. I want to know how many people know about Oreos and peanut butter. I thought everyone did, but I was talking to people at work about it, and I seem to be the only one. So I think I first saw it in it was either The Parent Trap or Freaky Friday, when like Lindsay Lohan was big. I don't know which one. One of those. No, I think it was The Parent Trap. It was The Parent Trap because the twins, they both like had that in common. And being a twin myself, we had to try it. Alright. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time at Chef Grace's place.